Painting is poetry that is seen rather than felt, and poetry is painting that is felt rather than seen. A painter should begin every canvas with a wash of black, because all things in nature are dark except where exposed by the light. Study without desire spoils the memory, and it retains nothing that it takes in. It had long since come to my attention that people of accomplishment rarely sat back and let things happen to them. They went out and happened to things. The painter has the universe in his mind and hands. Nothing strengthens authority so much as silence. One can have no smaller or greater mastery than mastery of oneself. The noblest pleasure is the joy of understanding. I have from an early age abjured the use of meat, and the time will come when men such as I will look upon the murder of animals as they now look upon the murder of men. Nothing can be loved or hated unless it is first understood. The smallest feline is a masterpiece. Art is never finished, only abandoned. As a well-spent day brings happy sleep, so life well used brings happy death. Learning never exhausts the mind. The knowledge of all things is possible. The greatest deception men suffer is from their own opinions. There are three classes of people: those who see when they are shown, those who do not see. Principles for the development of a complete mind. Study the science of art. Study the art of science. Develop your senses, especially learn how to see. Realize that everything connects to everything else. I have been impressed with the urgency of doing. Knowing is not enough, we must apply. Being willing is not enough, we must do. It is easier to resist at the beginning than at the end. The deeper the feeling, the greater the pain. The function of muscle is to pull and not to push, except in the case of the genitals and the tongue. As you cannot do what you want what you can do. I thought I was learning to live. I was only learning to die. Every now and then go away, have a little relaxation, for when you come back to your work your judgment will be surer. Great love springs from great knowledge of the beloved object, and if you know it but little you will be able to love it only a little, or not at all. He who cannot establish dominion over himself will have no dominion over others. The artist sees what others only catch a glimpse of. Iron rusts from disuse, stagnant water loses its purity, and in cold weather becomes frozen. Even so does, in action, sap the vigors of the mind. Realize that everything connects to everything else. Life without love is no life at all. An average human looks without seeing, listens without hearing, touches without feeling, eats without tasting, moves without physical awareness, inhales without awareness of odor or fragrance, and talks without thinking. Time stays long enough for those who use it. Intellectual passion drives out sensuality. Make your work to be in keeping with your purpose. Where the spirit does not work with the hand, there is no art. All our knowledge has its origin in our perceptions. I have offended God and mankind because my work didn't reach the quality it should have. Water is the driving force in nature. God sells us all things at the price of labor. Patience serves as a protection against wrongs as clothes do against cold. For if you put on more clothes as the cold increases, it will have no power to hurt you. Learn how to see. Realize that everything connects to everything else. All sciences are vain and full of errors that are not born of experience. The mother of all knowledge. A poet knows he has achieved perfection, not when there is nothing left to add, but when there is nothing left to take away. Our life is made by the death of others. I awoke only to find that the rest of the world was still asleep. Learning is the only thing the mind never exhausts, never fears, and never regrets. Once you have tasted the taste of sky, you will forever look up. My body will not be a tomb for other creatures. He who possesses most must be most afraid of loss. He who loves practice without theory is like the sailor who boards ship without a rudder and compass and never knows where he may cast. Blinding ignorance does mislead us. Oh, wretched mortals, open your eyes. He who does not oppose evil commands it to be done. Obstacles cannot crush me. Every obstacle yields to stern resolve. In rivers, the water that you touch is the last of what is past and the first of that which comes. So with present time. Why does the eye see more clearly when asleep than the imagination when awake? Art is the queen of all sciences, communicating knowledge to all the generations of the world. He who wishes to be rich within a day will be hanged within a year. Marriage is like putting your hand into a bag of snakes in the hope of pulling out an eel. Wisdom is the daughter of experience. Details make perfection, and perfection is not a detail. The acquisition of knowledge is always of use to the intellect because it may thus drive out useless things and retain the good. For nothing can be loved or hated unless it is first known. Anyone who conducts an argument by appealing to authority is not using his intelligence, he is just using his memory. As every divided kingdom falls, so every mind divided between many studies confounds and saps itself. The painter will produce pictures of little merit if he takes the works of others as his standard. Men of lofty genius, when they are doing the least work, are most active. Truth at last cannot be hidden. Dissimulation is of no avail. Dissimulation is to no purpose before so great a judge. Falsehood puts on a mask. Nothing is hidden under the sun. To develop a complete mind, study the science of art. Study the art of science. Learn how to see. Realize that everything connects to everything else. Many have made a trade of delusions and false miracles, deceiving the stupid multitudes. The mind that engages in subjects of too great variety becomes confused and weakened. He is a poor pupil who does not go beyond his master. While human ingenuity may devise various inventions to the same ends, it will never devise anything more beautiful, nor more simple, nor more to the purpose than nature does, because in her inventions nothing is lacking and nothing is superfluous. If you find from your own experience that something is a fact and it contradicts what some authority has written down, then you must abandon the authority and base your reasoning on your own findings. The worst evil which can befall the artist is that his work should appear good in his own eyes. A well-spent day brings happy sleep. He who truly knows has no occasion to shout. Truly man is the king of beasts, for his brutality exceeds them. We live by the death of others. We are burial places. Just as a well-filled day brings blessed sleep, so a well-employed life brings a blessed death. He who can copy, can do. Those who, in debate, appeal to their qualifications, argue from memory, not from understanding.